Hello everyone, this is Dr. Schilling from Secoya Health bringing you this week's Wednesday Wellness Minutes. And this one is brought to you by special request from one of our loyal patients. It's regarding the genetic influences on health. And this is a pretty broad area for people to be concerned about. The main concern is, is my DNA my destiny? And that's a big question. People think, well, my mom had this, or my grandma had that, or my sister has this, and this, and the story goes on and on. What you want to appreciate is your DNA is not your destiny. Just because someone in your family has manifest some type of disease process or illness does not mean you're going to manifest the same thing. The human body has roughly 19 to 20,000 genes, and that's been downgraded from 100,000 now that they've patterned the whole human genome. What you want to appreciate is of those 19 to 20,000 genes, very few of them are actually expressing. It's called gene expression. Your body has a very complex system called gene regulation, and that determines what's turned on and what's turned off. And there are a lot of different influences relating to that. Some of them can be neurological. If you've ever heard of the term sins of our fathers, the stresses that are passed down through the generations through the DNA, that's mostly a religious term, but it can be applied from the genetic standpoint. But you understand that different neurological things can turn things on, life experiences can turn things on, exposure to chemicals, foods, a lot of different things can turn genes on or off. So therefore, what we really want to focus on is our diet and lifestyle and what's going into our brains and our bodies that's going to determine what's going to turn these genes on and what's going to turn them off. So understanding that what we call the transgenerational stress is that it's called a miasm. It's a stress that's passed down from generation to generation and usually takes, from a genetic standpoint, about 3 generations to fully manifest. Therefore, if your grandparent was a smoker, you're going to have 3 generations to have that fully manifest, and it become a major problem for some people. They've used that in terms of trying to understand how asthma became such a huge problem and how our current predicament of autism and things like that, why it's become such a prevalent problem and where it started and what the triggers are. Some people want to blame the MMR vaccine, but again, that's a trigger. Vaccines in and of themselves do not cause disorders. They cause triggers. They cause genes to turn on or turn off, or whichever one it wants to be. So never point a finger at one thing. It's usually a combination of things that causes a problem. You can look at different genetic testing to determine your predisposition to illness. There's a 23andMe, Ancestry.com offers it, National Geographic offers it now. Basically, they're in the interest and business of making money and collecting data. They want to know how you compare to everybody else, and they want to be able to map everybody's lines. You can go through them. The most complex and complete, rather, is probably the 23andMe. But again, if you really want to go digging in the chest and see what's in there, you're going to find some dusty stuff you probably don't want to uncover, and it might make you a little nervous about your health. The best thing to do is do the daily things that are going to protect your health, what goes in your mind, what goes in your body, the relationships you have and things like that. That's what's going to be the greatest predictor of your health. So focus on that. Don't focus on your genetic testing. If you have someone in the family that has, for example, breast cancer, that's a common issue that's publicized. Now, I don't know the exact figures off the top of my head, but the number of breast cancer cases that become new each year is certainly increasing. But some people want to know, do we have BRCA genes? The BRCA, the 1 and 2 are the most common that people focus on. And that's, do I have the predisposition for this cancer, okay? If you can maintain proper hormone function and keep everything balanced, you should be able to avoid a lot of that stuff. But it requires a healthy system, to get these toxins out so they don't build up in your system, and then your estrogens go down certain pathways that they're not supposed to because they get recycled in your body and they become a problem. If you can keep the system clean running and detoxifying very well, you can avoid a lot of this. Your DNA, again, is not your destiny. Remember that. There's also the MTHFR, which is, of course, a common culprit for detoxification processes. It's the methyltetrahydrofolate reductase. It's a fancy name for a liver enzyme. Big deal. All we need to know is, can my liver detoxify all the garbage that's coming in, all the 270,000 different toxins that come in on a daily basis? We want to know, can they get out of our body? So really focus on that. Really focus on your lifestyle and your diet and what's going in your brain, because really your relationships are the greatest predictor of your health, and determining that is what we do on a daily basis. How do we interact with our family members, our friends, and things like that? Focus on the diet, the lifestyle, and what goes into your head, and that's going to make the biggest difference. So just getting back to the root cause of the question at hand, is a major genetic influence on our health. It will impact it, but only to a certain extent. So focus on what's going in your body, in your mind, and that will determine your health moving forward. Certainly hope this provides some clarification and some understanding as far as how genetics play into your health. Please feel free to contact the clinic and ask us any more questions. Send us an email, whatever you feel like, whatever is most convenient for you. Share this with your friends and family so they have a better understanding of what their genes are doing and how they're playing a role in their health, and then have them focus on their diet and lifestyle, what's going in their body and their brain. That's going to be the greatest predictor of your health. Hope this has been beneficial for you. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.